Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Gina and it's Gina's signature. So today I'll be making this beautiful Bubu with Ashoke. So if this is what you're interested in, please sit back, relax, and enjoy it. It's very, very easy and it's quite beautiful. It's a one size fits all, yeah. It's bogus and it's trendy. So that was inspiration, and this is what I made. I made two of this, yeah. So, like I said, if this is what you're interested in, please sit back and enjoy it because it's going to be detailed and it's very, 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 very easy to make. So I decided to spice up my own by adding my actual K to the sleeve part. So the model was not, we did not put it on our own sleeve, but I just decided to spice it up by adding that to the sleeves and it came out looking very nice. So, like I said, if this is what you're interested in, please sit back, relax, and enjoy it. So to all my amazing subscribers all over the world, I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the likes and thank you for the comments. I really, really appreciate every one of you and I don't take this for granted. So without wasting further ado, let's go over to the cotton table. So this is the fabric and this is the ashoke I'll be making use of. So whatever the color of your fabric is, just look for a good ashoke to pair it up. So I folded my fabric into four because I'll be cutting both the front and the back at the same time. So this is not going to be having any zipper. And if you want your shoulder not to be cut open, like you want it not to have any joining, you can as well do that. But I just want to slope down the shoulder. That is why I'm going to be cutting mine open. So I came down by 2 inches from my shoulder slope. Then I marked my shoulder width of my client divided by 2. I indicated that and then I did the neck width to be 3 inches. So now for the round sleeve opening, I came down by 11 inches and then from there I came in by about 3 inches. So the next line for me to get is my shoulder to my hip and then shoulder to the knee. So you need those two lines tentatively because you'll be using it to get the midpoint of where you'll be having your whole effect. So now we're getting the midpoint between my shoulder to hip and shoulder to knee, and then I'll indicate that. So that's the midpoint, and that's where my hole is going to be starting from. So right down that line, I'll be dividing my hip measurement by 4, and then I'll add extra 4 inches to that. So whatever I got there, I'm going to be taking it all the way down to the length of the gown. So this is going to be a free gown, it's not going to be tight. So that's why I added extra 4 inches to the hip measurement. So you can see what we have there. So it's in that middle part that we'll be drawing our hole to meet our round sleeve measurement. So you can just go ahead and use your free hand to connect it like that. So the hole effect is not too much. So that's how it's going to be. So we have that done already. So we'll go over to the neckline area. So for the neckline area, I'm going to be bringing my ashoke. So for this ashoke, I'll be using the width as it is like this, and the whole width here is about 6 inches. And when I measured what I have between my shoulder and then the neck width, I have about 5.5 inches, which is very perfect for me because I'll be using half an inch to join this ashoke to the collar. So it's perfect that is already 6 inches. I believe you understand me. So depending on how wide your ashoke is, that's going to be determining how you're going to be doing your neckline. So now for the depth for the ashoke, where I'll be wanting the collar to get to, I came down by about 16 to 17 inches, and from there I marked 2.5 inches. So I'm connecting that from that shoulder measurement. I'm connecting that straight to meet the 2.5 inches. I believe you understand what I just explained. So just connect it like that and then you go ahead to cut that out.
So I'm going to cut both the front and back the same thing. So you can wear any side for your front or your back. But as we progress, I'm going to be showing you the neck depth for the front. I will not make it the same thing as the neck depth for my back. I'll make the neck depth for the back deeper than the neck depth for the front. So now I'm cutting the side as you can see. Just follow the chalked lines and then go ahead and cut it out. So you can see the cool effect around that part. And then go ahead to cut out the excess. So this is what we have now. So I'll go ahead to cut out my shoulder slope. At the shoulder slope, I added half an inch for joining on the sleeve area, on the shoulder area, beg your pardon. So now we have both our front and our back respectively. So around that part that I measured 2.5, I'm going to be giving it a bit of a notch so that when I'm sewing the ashoke, it's going to be easier for me. So I'll set that aside and then show you how to fix my ashoke. So I'll open this up like so. Now this is the right side of the fabric. That is what is facing the camera. So you can see how wide the neckline is as at the point we opened it up. So the next thing to do is to introduce our ashoke. So for this ashoke, I'm not going to be using a single line. I'll be doubling it. I don't want it to be, this ashoke is not as, it does not have quality as the normal one. So I'm going to be using it double. I'll be doubling it. So what I measured from the shoulder down there was about 16 or 17 inches. But instead of cutting out that, I'll be cutting out about 20 or 21 inches. So you need to have more than what you have there. So that's what I'm trying to measure out. So I'll be cutting out about four of these, double four of these, two for the front and then two for the back. So I've cut that out. So I'll be using these two for this front and then I'll cut out another two for the back. So exactly what I'm doing here is what I'll do at the back. The only difference is going to be the depth where I'll be explaining it later. Now when placing this ashoke, please ensure that you place it above your shoulder level. Just place it like about 1 inch above the normal fabric that you have there. I believe you understand me because when you want to join it on the shoulders, you don't want to be running short. Like the ashoke is not going to be following it. So you go ahead and then place it like this and then run half an inch on both sides up to the point where you gave it the notch at the sides. So just go ahead, place it very well and then run a stitch. So let me quickly do that and then I'll be back to show you because this is how it's supposed to look by the time we finish sewing it. It's supposed to look something like this. So let me quickly go and do that and then I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead to sew a half inch on both sides as you can see. So I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to be putting it inside for you to see how it is. So I'm going to push it in like this and then push the other side inwards as like that, like placing it on it like that. So you can see what we have. So this is what it's going to be looking. So at that middle point, this is entirely optional, but I just wanted to do this so that you will not keep going back to sew and losing a knot. So in order for you to know the depth of your neckline, so you can just place your tape around the shoulder area and then come down by the inches you want for the depth of the neckline. So for mine, I decided to come down by about 9 inches and I used a pin to hold that in place so that I'll know that that is where I'll be running my stitches from. So now I'm turning to the reverse side of the fabric like this. So arrange it properly, and then you're going to be running half an inch on that line to secure it in place, and then you're going to be cutting out the excess of that ashoke. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what I have, and I've not even given it a press. So now I'll take it to my sewing machine and go and run a stitch so that that place will not be opening up. So go ahead and run it from that shoulder, top stitch or double stitch on that middle part, and then go down and then do it on the other side. So when you flip it to the reverse side, this is what you should be having. So you can see how neat and how clean it looks on the reverse side. So now I made the depth for the front 9 inches. So for the back, I'm going to be making the depth about 11 or 12 inches for the neck depth. So this is entirely optional, like I said. If you like, you can still make the same neck depth for both the front and the back. So I've gone ahead to do that, and I've trimmed out the excess ashoke on the shoulder area because it's now time for us to join the two together. So I've gone ahead to do this one as well, as you can see. So right sides facing each other now. I'm going to be placing it on top of each other like so. Properly align it very well, and then you're going to be running half an inch on the shoulder area to put the fabric in place. So just go ahead and run half an inch on the shoulder areas. After doing that, this is what I have. Like I said, I've not given it a press at all. Yeah, I'll be doing that when I'm through with all the sewing. So now this is what I have. So now we have our bubble gown looking beautiful already. So the next thing for me to do is to go over to the sleeve area. Like I told you, I'm going to be adding the ashoke to the sleeve. So now we're measuring what I have right there. What I have right there was about 21 inches, so thereabout. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out about 23 inches in length of the ashoke. So like this is what I have left anyway. So I'm just going to be making use of the whole thing. One for each sleeve. So I'll just slit this into two. So all I need to do is to just fold into two and then go ahead to stitch it on my sleeve. So I'll use one for each sleeve. So now I'll go ahead and place it on the wrong side of the sleeve and then run half an inch and then flip it over and then top stitch on it to put it in place like this. So that's basically what I'll do. So I've gone ahead to do that, and then I've gone ahead to give my gown a very good press, and I've gone ahead to sew the sides. As you can see the cool effect on the side. If you don't want your coat to get up to under the sleeve, you can come down a bit before carving that out. But I just wanted it to have a different look. That was why I did it like that. And then at the sides, we have our slits. I went up by about 17 inches on both sides of that to give it that beautiful slit by the sides. So we've come to the end of the tutorial for today, and I hope you really enjoyed this beautiful tutorial. So if you enjoyed watching it, please leave beautiful comments, kindly like, kindly share, and kindly give this thumbs up. So see you all in my next tutorial. And like I always say, this is Gina's Signatures, and I'm signing out. Bye.